This is Another Man's Nostalgia with John.
Jake Gyllenhaal also was going to audition
For a kid.
the role, but for the kid.
For the coach. Clothes are way too big for him.
Chris.
It's like a galloping horse.
Because batman and horses.
Yeah, totally.
It totally blends together.
They
horse
totally
guy.
match up.
Horse guy.
All right,
That's
anyway.
a villain, right? Batman, will you die? Yay or nay?
And Justin.
I award you no points. I hate this show. I swear if we do this show again, I'm quitting.
The episode starts now.
How's it going, guys? Welcome to Another Man's Nostalgia, where we revisit everyone's favorite shows, movies, and games from the mid-90s to mid-2000s. Don't worry, we'll take the bullet.
We're in a little bit different place today, aren't we, boys?
We are.
Hopefully we don't sound any different.
We're at the crib, my crib.
We're going to sound a lot better.
Is that it? Is that true?
It's what's going to happen.
Don't worry, guys. I'm still in the kitchen. Still
It's
recording
true.
in the kitchen.
He was.
I was really looking forward to seeing you guys this week. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I mean, I see you guys every week. I just miss you guys this week. I don't know.
It is weird, isn't it? Love you
Justin, did you have a good week?
Nothing happened.
Okay.
Of course.
guys. Just John, what did we watch this week?
We watched Johnny Bravo.
Woo!
1, 2, 3, Baby. Sassy. Studley. Oh. Check the pecs. Man, I'm pretty. Do the monkey with me. Come on. Hey there, baby. Yeah, whatever.
The theme was good. I like the theme.
Hey,
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
Do the monkey move with me.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird, but
So, yeah, do the fun fact scene. That's fine.
All right, here we go. Fun facts.
Okay.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Good.
Yep. Good.
Good?
Good.
All right.
I could say
It's good.
There
It's
were
not-
some.
not great.
There were some that were better, but
We'll make a ranking of them later.
we should.
We should.
It's at the bottom. This one's at the bottom.
All right, hey, you know what? That's fair.
No, what was that really bad one he did? What was it? It was
All right, let's be honest. They were all bad.
Animaniacs.
Let's be honest.
there's one he's just like he's like
Animaniacs. Fun facts.
it wasn't too bad, but he was like one time he was like fun facts and he just died off. I don't remember what it was.
Probably
Maybe
really
he's too tired. I don't know.
I've been Dragon Ball. Oh no, Dragon Ball's good. Dragon Ball sucks. That's a good one.
Because it does.
It was not a good one. That should be at the bottom. That should be at the
All
bottom.
right, so John, tell us about the show.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we forgot to tell like what the show meant to us. When
Yeah,
we
we went way too. Okay.
So we'll start with Chris.
Okay, so I never really watched this when I was little. Actually, this is probably the show that I remember being young and watching like 5 minutes of it, and I was like, you know what? I'm a little bit too mature for this kind of show.
Okay.
I thought it was really stupid
Which
when I was
is
little.
kind of funny thinking
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. So I thought it was kind of stupid when I was little. So I did not like it. I didn't care for it. When you brought it up, I was like, ugh. But maybe my opinion changed. We'll
I don't know.
see.
We'll see. All right, Justin.
I don't think it's surprising to know that I watched this show.
Yeah.
Nor that I liked it.
Honestly, both of y'all. I can see both of y'all watching this when I was watching it. was
I
like,
quoted
mean-
I quoted a good chunk.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
John,
So
you
is
probably-
it
you
a
probably
big
seen these
surprise that I watched a Ladies Man show when I was little?
Yeah, I feel like every time we watch something of John's, it's like a puzzle piece gets put together.
in his life.
Of my personality.
Yeah.
John,
It's like,
what
is where you got that. Okay.
Exactly.
John, what deep story do you have about this one?
I have a really deep. So, I told the story about Little Giants that me and my dad watched Little Giants together. It was a really good bonding moment. When it came to this show, it was pretty much a bonding moment when it came to me and my brother and my dad.
Okay.
Because we all watched this together. My dad really liked Johnny Bravo, and we really liked Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
So we would all just watch that together.
And this is very
my,
similar.
My
to
mom
those.
wasn't like too crazy about this show,
I wish I had bonding moments with people I knew.
but
I never have any of those.
All right.
I'm not surprised. No, so me and my dad, and my brother, I think, have like our favorite episodes and our favorite lines, and they're the same.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
So yeah, it premiered on Cartoon Network in 1997. It was one of the original series of Cartoon Network. That included Powerpuff Girls, Dexter's Laboratory, Cow and Chicken.
So Cartoon Network was like launched around this time. I didn't know how old Cartoon Network was.
I don't know if it was launched around this time, but it was just, it may have started like 2 or 3 years before this actually came out. But when it came to the original like series, this is one of the things that launched that. They had 4 original series, and this included one of the 4.
Okay. So it actually started in 1992, and from what I remember, and I'm looking this up right now, but I know it used to be just a big Hanna-Barbera rerun channel.
Well, Hanna-Barbera had a very, very big impact when it came to this show.
What is Hanna-Barbera? I don't remember that one.
It's so like Flintstones and the Jetsons
okay,
and all
yeah.
that.
Yep.
That was
see that.
the people that animated those shows. So like in the when that came out, 1970s?
I think Flintstones was like 50 or 60s.
Or was it the 60s? It might have been, but it was like the very first like big company that did those type of cartoons.
That's cool. And they did this one.
Yeah, so Hanna-Barbera had a really big impact on this because the animators did come from Hanna-Barbera.
Huh.
Johnny Bravo, the creator was Van Partible, and he came up with the kind of concept of Johnny Bravo as a college thesis. So his college thesis was about his senior year of college thesis. So his the thesis was about 3 Elvis impersonators that fought crime. And they yeah. So the short So his professor actually really, really liked the short, and the short was called Mesa Blues.
Mesa Blues.
Mesa Blues.
Is it him trying to score with women and he fails every time? Is that what it is? No. I was just guessing. I don't know why.
But it's like super hard to find the short of like this. But the 3 Elvis impersonators, they look like Johnny Bravo.
Do they?
Except instead of blonde hair, they have black.
Okay.
And they're not huge.
Right.
They're not jacked.
Not unrealistically proportioned.
Yeah.
Yeah. So his professor really, really liked it and said, hey, to one of his friends worked at Hanna-Barbera and said, hey, you should present this to like the people at Hanna-Barbera. And they really liked it, and they said, hey, you should go to Cartoon Network and pitch your idea. And that's what Partible did.
Cool.
And he got it.
That's awesome.
So, do you guys what did you guys think about the show, I guess?
Well, we should say first and foremost that there's not really a plot to this show.
No.
You're missing a big fun fact here.
What?
2 big directors and writers.
Yeah, I was about to get to that. So, do you want to say it?
No, you
I knew about one of them.
I'm just reminding you, there's
What's
2
the one
of them.
you know about?
Seth Macfarland.
That's how he got his career.
That's pretty cool.
Was writing and animating for Johnny Bravo and Dexter's Laboratory.
Which is not surprising. I can definitely see Family Guy.
Is that where you think
a lot of our shows that we watched this first season, we watched 1 through 13.
Yeah.
That's all it was. It was the first season of Johnny Bravo. I think he not directed, but he wrote, I think 7 of them.
Yeah, that
out
wouldn't
of the
surprise
13.
me. I wonder if this is also where he started his relationship with Adam West, which became
It has to be.
Yeah, because he's in Family Guy a lot.
It's
Yeah.
the same exact like crazy premise for
Adam
his
West.
personality.
Like almost senile Adam West. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was the other guy,
man,
John?
that part when Adam West busts out of his shirt. Y'all remember that?
Who was the other writer and director?
He's very good.
I have it somewhere. I don't know.
Butch Hartman. You know who
Yeah.
Butch Hartman is?
Nope.
Fairly Odd Parents.
Oh.
Danny Phantom.
He's one of
Danny
the main
Phantom.
writers. He's one of the main. He created Fairly Odd Parents and Danny Phantom.
That's right. I've seen that.
He's
Now
one,
that you say
and he
that.
was a big writer when it came to this.
He's in a little bit of hot water right
So-
now.
Is he?
Is he?
So
Me too?
he left Nick, and then he tried to start like a video streaming service, like a channel service.
Uh-huh.
And he got on Kickstarter, and he was like, I want to make this like family friendly programming. But in like live streams, he was saying that, oh yeah, it's gonna have Christian values because he's like a super hardcore like Christian dude.
Okay.
And then it turns out the whole thing is going to be every single show they put on there is going to be pushing Christian values.
Okay.
So nothing wrong with that.
People don't like it,
obviously.
though.
But people didn't like that he misled them.
Oh,
He's
'cause
in
they-
a lot of hot water because that was not part of the Kickstarter.
Gotcha.
And they were like, oh, whoa. This
Yeah.
is not supposed to be... We didn't sign up for a religious channel.
After they already gave money to it.
Yeah. And which, you know what? Whatever kind of you believe in, I completely agree with them.
No, I agree. You
That's
should
bullshit.
Yeah.
Don't, change your channel like that. Some people don't agree with that.
That's not what we believe in.
What'd
So-
you say?
Let's get into it.
So I am a hardcore...
All right.
Okay, so
I
Johnny
just thought it was a
Bravo,
fun fact. There.
he was
Ding.
Did you know that, John?
okay, yeah. So he was modeled after 3 people. I'm guessing you could think the first one, who was
Elvis.
Elvis.
All the
Who were
guys from Jersey
Who were
Shore.
the other 2 people?
Guys from Jersey
the,
Shore.
Jersey
situation,
Shore.
the situation.
I don't know,
No.
man.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No.
One of the Beach Boys.
So James Dean, he was
Okay.
modeled
Okay,
after
the
James
hair.
Dean.
I can see that.
I can see it. The hair.
And then
the,
his movements were modeled after Michael Jackson. So
Okay.
like, all his like dance moves and everything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he
I-
spazzes
They
out.
use Michael Jackson.
I disagree with that.
Yeah.
You say you disagree.
I disagree. I saw no Michael Jackson in him.
You get to watch it like, wow, that's a Michael Jackson.
Wow, man! I really wish I could dance like Johnny Bravo.
Okay. All right. You have to start
You
getting
wish
some...
you had the hair. The hair of Johnny Bravo.
Hey, you know what? The hair is pretty nice.
John, if
hair's
you had
pretty
yellow
nice.
hair, you kind of have Johnny Bravo's hair.
Except he has no
Oh, yeah.
mouth.
Maybe that's where it comes from. Is
That does bug me. His mouth, like,
it disappears sometimes.
Just so everybody knows, John is wearing a black T-shirt and sunglasses. He has his hair gelled today.
He got blue pants.
He
and,
dyed it blonde.
Yeah.
black shoes on. Yeah.
All right. Do y'all want us to start going to some plots?
Yeah.
And he keeps ripping his shirt.
Okay, hey, there's one thing that I want to say before
for it.
before we get in. So when Partible was pitching this to Cartoon Network, the women loved the idea and the men hated it.
Why?
I don't know.
All right.
I could see the
But,
women liking
but
it
every
'cause it's-
single person or every single man in the when they were pitching the idea said it was an awful show, and all the women had to convince them that it was a good show. They should try to do it.
Huh.
Which makes sense. I'm sure pretty much every chick out there has had like some super buff dude try to like come
Hit
out
on her. Sure.
You know, and you're like, really? Come on.
And let's
So
be honest,
I-
the cartoonists probably were not that buff guys, so they probably couldn't relate to
Yeah.
him very much.
That's like because they're like, whoa. If I was that buff guy, I wouldn't be doing that. They're wasting those muscles.
Yeah.
So before we get into it, why do you guys think the show was so popular? Because it was a really popular show.
I think his one-liners are really good. He has some really good zingers in
Yeah.
there, and it really is reminiscent of Looney Tunes and Animaniacs that we've already watched. So I think it's like these short, quick animations that are kind of funny. I think that's probably it.
If this was a 22-minute show and one whole plot, I would have stopped watching it after episode 3 or 4. I think.
So I didn't know that's what this was.
I forgot. I
Yeah.
thought it was like half and half. I didn't know it was 3 episodes.
Well, I didn't even know.
Some of them had 2 episodes, but most of them had 3.
But I didn't realize that that's what this, or I didn't realize that's what this was. And I remember like a year or two ago, I saw something about somebody saying that they're going to make a live-action Johnny Bravo. How?
With The Rock.
Was it The Rock?
Yeah, it was
that
with
make
The
that
Rock.
make the most sense.
he wouldn't
How?
even be a good Johnny.
How do you make
Bravo.
a plot with this?
He's too charming.
I just want to see The Rock like spaz out like him, like turn all these different shapes or whatever he was doing.
The Rock is too charming.
I don't know.
He's
I
too
bet he
good.
could play
I
a
think,
sleazeball.
I think The Rock, he could pull it off.
Yeah, he could play a sleazy guy if he wanted.
I'm
to.
sure he could, but I'd be like,
I just would like to see The Rock get slapped, but like mini girls.
Chris Hemsworth would be pretty good.
yeah, I think so.
He's wacky enough in those, in like Ghostbusters. He's a wacky.
There was the fans want Channing Tatum to play Johnny Bravo.
I can kinda say that too.
Okay.
there
And
is
he,
a live
and let's
action
be
one.
honest, Channing Tatum kind of looks like an idiot. Like he looks stupid. I don't think he is, but he looks stupid. His eyes are too close together.
This podcast
So-
does not think Channing Tatum is stupid.
Let's dive deep into the way
Okay.
Channing Tatum looks.
I like Channing Tatum a lot, but his eyes are too close together. So, he
So,
looks like an idiot.
the reason I asked this question is McFarland, he got asked this question in an interview, like, why do you think that Johnny Bravo is so popular? And he goes, it's because it's such an iconic person, because everyone can see someone that they know in Johnny Bravo. Like, they could see a family member, or they know someone.
Or John.
They know someone that's like Johnny Bravo.
I saw,
And they
there's a
can
lot of
just
times like, that's
resemble
what
it.
John would do. We'll get into that later.
Okay.
So
But they can see someone that they know.
Yeah.
So how you
And
want
that's
to do
why he
this?
say, huh?
How you want to do this? Do we want to just kind of like jump episode? to
Yeah, let's just say like, well,
Yeah.
let's just say like our favorite like little spots or whatever. Like,
I'll start. I think I want to start because I think my favorite first one was the Schoolhouse Rock one.
yes.
So,
So it was a parody to Schoolhouse
That's the first
Rock.
one I wrote. The sensitivity episode is what.
It's, yeah, the... I don't know what it's called.
Sensitivity, sensitivity. Show that girl you really give a D. Show her your mind is occupied with more than the pictures in the TV guide. Show her you've got a bit of bona fide sensitivity.
I just called it the sensitivity song
I'll
episode.
put it-
so
I'll put a clip of
basically, Johnny gets is trying to pick up chicks. Was a surprise, and this really short, kind of chubby-looking dude is being nice to the chicks and getting dates. And he's like, "Hey, how you get the girls or something
Yeah.
like that." So somehow they meet. And he's like, "You gotta be sensitive," And he starts singing all these songs, And my favorite line from that was, "You gotta stop being so manly." He's like, "Too manly? Ain't that like being too ethical?" I'm like, "What?"
That's a good one. Honestly, the Schoolhouse Rock episode was the first one that I was like, okay, I kind of get what this is. Before that, I was like, I don't know what I'm watching.
It was very
I don't
clever.
understand what this is.
I liked one line in the Jungle Book one. It was with a snake, and he kept trying to convince everyone that he was poisoned.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
kind of good.
And he goes, "Oh yeah, like I bit my tongue and I passed out for 3 days."
There's every episode I think had at least one funny line in it that I've
Yeah.
laughed at.
The Schoolhouse Rock one I liked because, in some episodes, it turns out that the guy is usually the right, but in this one, the Schoolhouse Rock one, he was actually basically like Johnny Bravo.
Yeah.
He was faking it.
He was faking it, yeah.
And all the girls figured it out.
Yeah.
And they went and beat him up.
That's true.
I was like,
So-
"Oh, that's clever."
So the guy that did the voice of the sensitivity man is the same guy that sang "I'm Just a Bill"
Yeah.
in Schoolhouse Rock.
oh, yeah.
I was like, I'm pretty sure that's the same guy.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
way too much spot on to be a.
It's pretty cool.
Which is pretty cool. Like they're making fun of it, and he decided to go with it.
So then there's the episode, or
They're just Scooby Doo.
Yeah, that was my
Scooby-Doo.
next one.
Scooby-Doo is an
I
episode.
love,
that's my next one too.
I love
It
Scooby-Doo.
really was a classic episode
It was
of
good.
Scooby-Doo.
It was good.
I like one of my favorite first parts was when they're splitting up
Yeah.
classically, and Daphne is splitting them up. I'm like, this is weird. And Daphne goes with
he
like a
gives him the
Shaggy,
eye.
and Fred's like, Daphne, and you're like, okay, that's pretty good that they're like, nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Who was in the mask in that one?
Oh, it was like 20 people and then his aunt. Because he didn't. She was like, I don't want to be with this moron
was
anymore.
Don Knotts.
Todd Knotts, that's right.
He kept showing up too.
Yeah, he showed up a lot too. Then the episode where
Velma was
Johnny-
hitting on him too.
What?
Velma was trying to hit on
yeah,
Johnny.
he was.
So that episode is one of the only episodes that Johnny Bravo is seen without his sunglasses.
Hey, hang on a second, guys. Sorry.
Chris is answering his phone on the podcast.
Hey, we're recording.
This is really, really annoying.
We're live on the air. You want to say hi?
Yeah, Carmen, we're live on
Hi.
the air.
Okay. She just want to call in and say she's a faithful listener. Do you have a question for the show?
She can only ask the question if she rated us on iTunes.
She said my boyfriend's obsessed with the new Spider-Man game. What do I do about that? All right.
Let's read.
gotta keep that in.
I'll keep it in.
So funny.
That's good.
Okay, so then I like the Scooby-Doo episode. It was
Yeah.
one of my favorite. The next one, I have a feeling Justin's gonna like. It was my weirdest.
The
I didn't
Antelope?
like it.
The date with the antelope.
Okay.
Now, I remember some of these episodes from like when I was a child.
Uh-huh.
This is one of the main ones. They replayed this a lot.
Can I talk about this? Okay.
Tell
This
the
comes
plot.
up numerous times.
Tell the plot first.
All right. So what happens is Johnny's looking through the ads, right? Is it or is that the werewolf?
That's the
episode?
werewolf one. This is one
All right.
he just has a blind date from one he met online.
Okay, so he's at his computer.
Yeah.
He met somebody online. Okay, I get these two mixed up sometimes. So he goes to dinner and it's a fucking antelope as his date. Not somebody in an antelope costume, a literal walking, talking antelope on 4 legs, right?
Yep. Okay.
It's an actual antelope.
Okay.
So
think the
here's
weirdest line-
here's what's happening.
Okay.
Okay, I know I need to finish this because this is stupid. So here's what's happening. They go on these dates, they're having fun, and you find out that this antelope chick is using Johnny to get back at her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Guess
Which
who
is
her
a crab.
boyfriend is?
Her boyfriend's a crab.
A fucking crab that's being served to them at the restaurant. Literally, what my notes say is, what the fuck?
What kind of drugs were they on for this one?
And by the end of the series, when I'm making my notes, all I put is, I think Johnny is a furry.
No, he absolutely is.
And
Because
I'm glad I learned this.
In
from
this
you.
there was
episode-
that, and then the werewolf.
in this episode, he sees it immediately. He's like, "You're an antelope," and she's like, "What? No." He goes, he's upset that he noticed. He's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry you noticed," which is hilarious.
He just rolls with
And then
it.
he's going on a date with her. He's like, "Yeah, I'll try it."
Like, what's he gonna do? Fuck the antelope later?
Because-
Is that what he wants?
And doesn't-
He's a good guy. Like, he's shallow, but when it comes to like Johnny's personality, he's portrayed as a good guy.
Okay.
we know he's a
really
virgin
likes
because
his
they
mom.
sacrificed him in one of the episodes.
That's right. They literally said they're going to sacrifice a virgin. It was Thunder.
That was Thunder.
How was it?
They said they're
Little
literally,
ambiance.
they said they're literally going to sacrifice a virgin.
He's like, wait,
I
what?
can't believe they said the virgin on the kids' TV.
Yeah. So, yeah,
All right.
he's a furry.
But there's more than just that, because in the next episode, or maybe it's a couple down, he meets a rhino or something. There's just like random animals in this show. And then the rhino says to him, "What are you, some kind of rhinophobe?" Which I thought was funny.
No, he loves any type of animal.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Doesn't the antelope say at
Apparently,
one
the
point...
animals can talk in this
Yeah.
universe.
And doesn't the antelope say at one point, "Ride him, cowboy"?
Something like, yeah. I think he's literally riding her.
I think so. It's the weirdest show.
They don't have
Out of
any
the
kind
whole
of
entire
like precedence that this
season.
is like an actual thing, that like these animals are just like civilians that walk around.
And Johnny is just completely okay with it.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, this is normal. And I know it's a cartoon.
Yeah.
I get it. It's supposed to be weird and funny, but come on.
And then we had the episode when Johnny Bravo is in school and he dates a girl and he decides to break up with her by lunch. Oh wait, that was John, not Johnny Bravo.
Oh!
Hey-o! The similarities between these two.
Oh yeah, that's great.
So, next
So
one.
how did you guys feel about Little Susie, like as a character? Because we're about to hit a couple episodes.
It was
that
weird.
She was in.
It was very weirdly done.
It was an odd relationship.
It was very odd.
So the
I'm
reason
not
why
gonna I'm not gonna make a joke about anything going on between the two, but they didn't help their case.
How old is
like
John?
there were some weird lines.
How
in
old
it.
is Johnny?
they never say how old Johnny Bravo is.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone assumes he's in his 20s,
Okay.
but it's never said.
Okay.
So the reason why Little Susie is in the show is because the writers wanted to have a character in the show that Johnny wasn't romantically involved with, and that's
Okay.
why she's there.
Except Mama.
Because if you had a normal girl, you just assume that.
You would just assume that he's trying to get with
Yeah,
her. the
that's
whole
a good
time.
point.
So, but they said that they put them on the level of intelligence is the same.
Okay. All
Of
right.
Little Susie and
But then
Johnny.
they shouldn't have made Little Susie like kind of have like a little bit of a crush on him, because it's kind of weird. And I get what you're saying, but she seemed to have a little bit of a crush on him.
I mean,
I don't think
she's
that's
a little
weird.
girl. How did you like the adult humor that this show had?
Dude,
There's a lot of
I'm
it.
surprised with some stuff they got away with.
There's a lot, but so
The one I wrote down, if you don't mind me saying real quick,
that's fine.
Go ahead.
unless you're about to bring this up, but it was the episode with what's her name, the famous actress who's
Farrah Fawcett?
Farrah Fawcett, and
I think I know what you're about to say.
And then they blindfold her.
Yep, I have that. It's the exact one written down.
This is so much fun. I can't remember the last time I was blindfolded. Oh, wait. Yes, I can. Oops.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I mean, that was probably the worst thing I heard in the show.
Oh, she goes, oops.
Hey,
Yeah.
so do you
I
know
said
who
oops,
voices
that's right.
Little Susie?
Who voices Little Susie?
It's the same girl that voices on the last last Airbender Avatar. It's what's her? It's the girl
Tara?
Katara.
Really?
She started voicing Little Susie when she was 5 years old, and then she just voiced
Wow.
them throughout the whole entire series.
Okay, that lines up. Because
Yeah.
what, Airbender was like late or like mid 2000s, right?
Okay.
That makes sense.
So
She would be 13, maybe 12 when it started.
Are you excited about the
Jeff Bennett, also the guy that voices Johnny Bravo, is in the Last Airbender too.
Really?
Yep. Jeff Bennett is a very famous voice actor now.
Is he?
He's done a bunch of things.
That's cool.
But this is one of the ones that he's most famous for.
Yeah.
He said when he knew that he made it, he said this in an interview, that he was watching the late night show with David Letterman, and Robin Williams was on it, and they just got onto the subject of Robin Williams' kids, and Robin Williams goes to David Letterman, he goes, "Have you ever heard of Johnny Bravo?" David Letterman's like, "No."
Of course, David Letterman has no idea.
And he starts to do the impression, he's like,
Robin Williams did?
Ding.
huh?
Robin Williams or
Robin Williams started
that's
doing
cool.
all the impressions to like David Letterman, and that's
R.I.P.
when
Robin
Bennett said
Williams.
that he knew that he made it because
Robin Williams quoted him?
Robin Williams
That's
was
cool.
voicing him.
That's a cool one.
Like on the Tonight Show, the late night show.
Speaking of Little Susie, I think her first big episode was the rhyming episode.
Yes.
They
The
rhyme
rhyming
the whole
episode,
time?
I liked it.
So I appreciate
With the cookies,
I appreciate this episode. I appreciate shows when they do rhymes like this. I think it's interesting.
I put really like this. My favorite rhyme
I'm glad
was
you liked it. Justin.
my favorite rhyme was
You should put some clips of
something.
I'll put some clips.
I am a buttercup. I'm as sweet as can be. Please won't you buy some cookies from me?
Listen up, kid. I ain't got the time. Go on, bother somebody else with your rhyme.
I'm selling cookies. Almost free. Please won't you buy some cookies from me?
It was like something, and then you cannot tempt me with Courtney Cox.
That's right. That was good.
and he kept saying it.
I was like, why they get obsessed with Courtney Cox all of a sudden?
I love how like dated this show
This is, I think this is the first episode
Is it
that
dated? Wouldn't
Seth
you date Courtney
MacFarlane.
Cox?
What?
Wouldn't you date her?
Right now?
Maybe, yeah.
No, it's pretty.
I mean,
plastic.
all right, maybe 10 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
During
dated.
Friends, yeah.
It's a dated
this
show.
This is
yeah.
like
A little
around
after
the area
Friends, when
when
she was on the Cougar show, whatever it was.
Cougar Town.
Still, it was like Cougar. I remember
right,
he was like making fun
All
of
right,
Cougar
Justin, keep it
Town.
together, man.
No?
All right. So when I was little, this show, I tried to memorize it. I remember because
Oh, the rhymes?
Yeah, they're all this whole entire
You did
show.
some
I
weird
remember
stuff when
getting
you were little.
halfway through,
Did you?
and I remember some of it too.
Yeah?
I remember some of the lines, but
You were a weird kid, weren't you?
You didn't have very
I
many
was
friends.
really
huh?
big on learning like stupid things. when I
Yeah,
was a
I think you
kid.
told us this
pretty
before or
obvious.
something else. Oh, the Pokemon rap. You learned the Pokemon rap.
I did learn the Pokemon. I would play the episode and I rewind to spots that I would like, and I would just like listen to lines over and over and over and over again.
Then there's also the other rhyming one is also the Christmas episode, which is also pretty good.
I thought that was Adam West for a little bit, and I was like, no.
I think it is. I wrote down I thought it was Adam West.
I thought it was too, but I don't think it's not.
It's not?
It's some other dude.
Huh.
Yeah.
Sounded like Adam West.
It does.
The only episode Adam West was on, I believe, was just that one episode.
I liked how all senators got coal,
Yeah.
and then Scooby Doo got speech therapy, and it was written as like Scooby Doo would.
As Scooby Doo language.
Oh, speech therapy. I was like,
Forgot
what?
about that.
Oh man.
And then we go into, or you have another one you want to talk about? I was going to talk about the one where
I was going to talk
fort.
about the dork episode.
That's good. Where he tries to teach the dork how to pick up chicks,
Yeah,
That's right.
and
Yeah,
he couldn't.
that was another one that was written by Seth MacFarlane.
that makes sense.
Let's see.
I like the fort one, the one where he has to
Find the fort in the desert.
find the fort in the desert, and
That's
they
good.
keep showing the audience. Yay!
They like pop out of
I was
nowhere.
cracking. Yeah.
I'm a camel. I have water in my back. like what? Shut up. I know what you're looking at.
Lines.
That's what he said. I hate y'all.
Everybody remembers that classic line from this episode. I have water in my hump.
I hate you. Babysitting Timmy.
Oh, this is the. Is this where we're getting into Twilight Zones?
Yeah, so he keeps getting out in the cornfield.
Yeah.
I like my favorite line in that. It's one of my favorite lines. The parents are like, "We like Timmy. He's the best." He's like, "Okay, you guys are starting to creep me out. Go away."
Okay, so I don't know if y'all caught. I don't know if y'all caught this fun fact about this episode, but all three of these parts was based on a old Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
So you had the plane when he sees the monster outside the plane, which was
The Simpsons did that one too. They
Did
had
they?
a pretty famous.
that's like the
one.
most famous Twilight Zone episode. And then the doll that
Yeah.
keeps reappearing.
That was actually pretty creepy.
That was a creepy Twilight Zone episode and a creepy.
That was very creepy. That was
So-
a really well done episode.
Yeah.
The reason why, like, this episode, does this show remind you of Animaniacs?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
It does?
Oh, yeah.
Because Animaniacs didn't have really a big storyboard. It was like just puns, and then they would just throw some humor in.
Yep.
And a lot of it was kind of fueled not through the story, but through the animation.
Yeah.
And this show tried to do the complete opposite. They tried to push all the like the bigness of the show through the storyboard. And Seth Macfarland, this is like where he actually got like and learned how to write was through this show.
I can definitely.
And they did use a storyboard when it came to this show. It wasn't just like just throwing things out there randomly.
One of
like
the biggest
Animaniacs
strengths
did.
of this show, which is kind of funny because he does have random throw-ins there, but I think one of the biggest strengths of this show is those 6-minute snippets.
Yeah.
It's so quick, it's so precise and tight. Even the worst episodes, I was like, okay, I know what's going on. At least I know why this is happening in the story.
And that's something that Animaniacs really suffered with, because I think Animaniacs, it had 2 episodes, but like if it was bad, it was long. This one, it was so quick that it was over really fast.
And at least, you know, they knew what they were, you could see what they were trying to do.
Yeah.
And there was always something funny in there. There was a good concept that
Yeah.
they worked with. Like the one where he's tried to kiss the leprechaun because he thought Blarney Stone was Barney Stone. And even he was like, he had the little thought bubble. Wait a minute, Barney?
Yeah.
I gotta kiss you. Come here.
That was pretty
He
good.
kissed him with like the Lucky Charms one.
Yeah.
It was just they took something really simple that Johnny did dumb or another character got dumb.
And they just wrote a story around it.
And they just went with it, and they did the jokes around that.
And he's a good character, which makes it better. If it was a boring character, it wouldn't have been good.
Which really surprised me, because I knew when I was a kid I loved Johnny Bravo, but going into this I was like, I'm going to get really tired head from this, because I thought his shtick was the same thing. And it kind of is, but you do see there's a big difference in every episode of Johnny. They have Johnny being the straight man a lot of the times. Like my favorite time he was the straight man was in the really creepy dude episode, or the creepy kid episode, the Twilight Zone episodes. You know, he was the straight man in it, and that really let him shine with his one-liners.
The spacing of him being too silly was really well done, where he wasn't too annoying after a while.
He was a very well-written and fleshed-out character, which is funny considering almost everybody remembers him for being a ladies' man. When that was a very...
It's kind of funny.
I don't know if it's a very small part.
Well,
but-
it's at least one episode from every season. Every episode's about that. At least
Which is
one
good.
one little clip of it.
Which is funny, because the way it's pretty unique how he gets into every situation.
And the main story is that he does something outrageous to get her, and at the end, he never does. That's basically how everything
Sorry,
goes.
John, we dominated. What were you
No,
going to say?
you're fine. I was just going to say, because you mentioned that he's a ladies' man.
Yeah.
In India, he's actually a verb. Like, they say that when someone's a ladies' man, that they call him Johnny Bravo. In India.
Is he really a ladies' man, though, if he doesn't get chicks?
No, he thinks he is. Like John.
He's just...
What?
Do we want to go through a couple more episodes?
Can we talk about my favorite episode while we're talking about Twilight Zone episodes?
Yeah, I have 2 more. I think I know what you're about to talk about.
So this one is my favorite. So this one's also based on Twilight Zone. It's the episode where he wakes up and his alarm is blinking because it turned off in the middle of the night. So he thinks he's able to stop time. And every situation that he gets
Through a
in,
VCR.
it proves that he
that-
is. Because it starts with him in court, and they're like,
Yeah.
explain how this happened. Because he basically, at the end, when he tries to rob something. And then so every situation he's in, like he goes to a bank, and right before he gets there, there's robbers in there, and they say, anybody that moves gets shot. And he just walks in and sees everybody frozen. He just assumes that everybody's frozen. And
It's so great.
Every way they creatively got those people to freeze while he walked by was so well done. That was my favorite episode of the season. That was really good.
I thought you were going to say, honestly, the Adam West one.
No, the Adam West had my favorite line, the ripping of the shirt. That was so good.
So he goes to Adam West's house because he thinks his mom or Momma is kidnapped because she's 2 minutes late from the mall.
Uh-huh.
So he sees Adam West
That's
show
right.
where he saves people.
Yep.
And the joke is Adam West is this crazy person, just like on Family Guy.
Yeah, and
I
he-
think Adam West a little bit more toned down, but he's just crazy. He doesn't remember anybody's names. He's just out there. He's making ridiculous assumptions.
Yeah.
But he goes to his house and he thinks, when he comes out, Adam West comes out of his house, he's fighting bad guys immediately.
Yeah.
And then once Johnny gets up there, he tries to fight him. So he like rips his shirt off or something like that. Or no, his shirt.
It rips off by itself. And that's a common thing that
Because
happens.
he's like working out while he's talking to Johnny,
Yeah.
and at first it's just his bicep,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden just all breaks off. He's like, not again.
So they said, or Jeff Bennett said that this took him like like almost a week to shoot this episode because every time they would go in to shoot it, he would just laugh so much that they had to stop for that day. I had something to say that I didn't say about the Twilight one. Did you notice that Hillary Clinton was in that episode?
Oh yeah, she was.
I
Yep.
didn't notice that.
Yeah, at the very end, she talks to Bill and she goes, "You're cheating on me with someone named Bunny," and like pulls up.
Foreshadowing.
I know.
Oh,
And pulls up Johnny Bravo's mom's like 90 or something like that she was supposed to get for Christmas.
Wow. Okay, so what's interesting about that? That's really ballsy. I'm listening to a podcast right now. You'll check it out if y'all like. It's not anything like this one. It's a history podcast.
not as good as ours.
No, it's not anything like it. It's a history podcast, and it's
Yeah.
called Slow Burn. And they're talking about the Hillary Clinton, or the Bill Clinton thing. So at this point, in 1997, when this episode came out, he was already accused of sexual harassment with another girl.
Yeah.
Not Monica Lewinsky. So pretty ballsy.
So
like
they used it. So they used it.
They went there.
They rolled with it. But I just thought that was super
That's
interesting.
funny. I don't think I
You
put
didn't
it
catch
together.
that?
I don't think I put it together. Or I don't think I knew when it came out.
Yeah.
So I know if it's like a joke after it happened.
Yeah.
I think the last episode note is the Donny Osmond nanny episode. The Donny Osmond nanny episode. It's got my favorite line and John's favorite line. John, you take
No,
take
you
it.
can take it. You can
Want me to take it?
Yep.
All right, so here's the setup. Donny Osmond is hired as a nanny for Johnny because Johnny just sits on his ass all day watching TV or then does nothing. It's really funny.
And he
how
might
they-
be mentally unstable. We don't know.
It's really good. It's really funny how they go through the interviews because he's like, "I'm not a kid." Like he's like sitting at the table, like really pissed off. And so he first takes him to like a Chuck E. Cheese thing,
Uh-huh.
and he gets trapped in the balls. The little kid's like, "How you get out of here, kid?" He's like, "I don't know. I've been here since I've been since I was 5." And so he's like, "I don't like this." So they go to the hills, and Donnie's like doing his guitar, and he goes,
All right, what's the guitar for?
I'm gonna teach you how to sing, Johnny.
And I'm going to teach you how to shut up.
Oh, neat! It'll be like a trade.
I love that freaking line.
the whole episode is just him reacting to how terrible Donny Osmond is.
That's
Because
that
Don,
is.
yeah, because Donny Osmond's like this annoyingly like joyful, like over
Yeah.
the top guy in this one. And
But he's in the series so much.
Donny
after this.
Osmond?
Yes.
is it him voicing him or no?
Yep.
Is it?
Yep.
That's cool.
So,
So he's like making fun of himself. That's
The hide and seek where he just goes back home. It's like he doesn't he pretends not to remember.
Donny Osmond jumps
what
in
are
the
you doing
dumpster. He sits there for like the full day.
it's
I
my
won!
favorite episode.
He's a terrible player. I won.
I'm gonna teach you how to sing, Johnny. I'm gonna teach you how to shut up. No, so that's one of those things that me, my dad, and my brother, we would like rewind and we would rewatch that over and over again. But
Do you have anything to
when
do
it comes to
outside of that?
when it comes to that episode and when it comes to that line, it's all three of our favorites.
Probably the best line in the whole series that we've watched so far. I think,
When
at least to me.
I've heard it so many times and I still laugh at it hearing it.
I don't know if I had a
It's so
favorite
funny.
line.
Huh?
I don't know if I had a favorite line.
There's a lot.
The yay thing was funny. That's not really a line. It's just a word. But
Yeah.
yeah, because they brought it back in other episodes.
That's a good-
Made it better.
That's a good little joke.
What'd you think about the?
That's a Monty Python thing. You know that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yay! And there was much rejoicing.
So
That's not obscure. That's very famous. That is very famous.
Justin's obscure line.
That was very famous.
The word joyous or what's the joyous?
No, so like in Monty Python and the Holy Grail, this is first they start.
Yes,
they
I've
were
seen it.
talking about going through like defeating all the monsters, and they're like there was much rejoicing after the defeat.
Yay!
Yay!
Yeah.
That's not obscure.
I think there's much rejoicing part is.
No, it's not.
So there's a
I hate all of you. I'm going home.
okay.
Oh wait,
There's a fan theory. We all know you like your fan theories, right?
Oh God.
There's a fan theory
that he is a furry.
That Johnny is
Gay.
the same age as little Susie. He's 8 years old and he's imagining like everything that happens to him.
Okay.
Isn't it weird? Because there's an episode, we haven't watched it yet, but there's an episode where he turns into like a little kid, and they say that that's actually real Johnny.
Of course.
He didn't turn into a kid.
God, people are so annoying. Leave things alone.
Stop with your fan theories. Stop thinking. Stop thinking for yourselves.
Ridiculous.
So we want to move on. What's the next favorite episodes lines?
Again, my favorite episode was the babysitting episode. And you didn't have a favorite episode?
My favorite episode was the Frozen in Time one.
It was Frozen in
I
Time.
didn't really have a favorite line, I don't think.
I like the babysitting Timmy episode. The one with the freaky Timmy kid. He keeps getting to the cornfield. Oh, wait a minute.
There's one
It's like
episode
right by his house.
There's one episode that we did not talk about that I liked a lot. And it was the nurse episode where he's at the hospital.
I don't really remember that one.
I don't remember that one.
It didn't stick out to me.
It didn't?
No.
So Johnny, he's little Susie. She gets her tonsils out, and Johnny goes to the hospital, and he's trying to hit on this nurse.
Oh, really?
But her nurse's assistant keeps like preventing him from like doing
Oh, that's
it.
right.
And
It's really creepy.
It really is.
I don't remember this one.
He like keeps injuring
Yeah,
him.
he's like torturing him basically for hitting on the girl, and she's like, "Why don't you take care of this guy?" Because every time he hits on him, then this like
He's like,
this
oh
fast.
yes.
Yeah, he sounds like the guy from Frankenstein. Hey,
like Igor?
master. Yeah, Igor.
Yeah.
I can't. Maybe I was watching that while I was doing something else.
Playing
Listening,
Spider-Man.
didn't
But
pay
he
attention.
keeps hurting Johnny,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Johnny keeps saying, like, he's like, oh, do you want to be a sandwich? And Johnny's like, no, I don't want to be. He goes, no, you want to be a sandwich.
And then he closed the bed on him.
And he closes like the hospital bed on him.
All right.
Made him a sandwich.
That's pretty good.
I liked that episode. I thought it was funny.
It was funny. Okay, you guys want to do final thoughts?
All right, Chris.
So, I don't know, man.
You
All right.
laughed a lot. Well,
Yeah, I
we were
know.
just
So-
talking about it.
So my initial thought coming in here was I thought about a third of it was funny. But then I was like, but even though I thought a third of it was funny, the things I thought were funny, I like really, really laughed at pretty hard. So I was like, I'll give it half a point. But again, kind of just like talking about it and like hearing the fun facts and stuff about how much they liked it, kind of makes me want to give you a full point. So I'll give you a full point.
Okay. Well, thank you.
I was back and forth on this too, but not in the way you were. I thought more than a third of it was funny. So I thought I was thinking half and half in my head. The more I thought about it, how many shows are better than half the episodes? How many shows have more than half the episodes really good? There's always clunkers.
Cartoon wise?
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z.
No, shut up. No, we're not allowed to talk about that. You're getting your punishment next week.
God.
We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Dragging so much.
But yeah, so the more I thought about it, the more I thought, well, you know what? Like cartoons or shows in general, when about half the episodes are good, I think it's a good show.
Yeah.
I really like the humor. The humor caught me off guard. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that smart of humor.
It's quick. It's very quick.
Very quick-witted.
Yeah.
John, you get a point.
Yeah.
So it's weird. When I was coming up with my shows, I was thinking, okay, Batman's a lock-in.
Yeah.
But
Right.
Johnny Bravo is like on the border about getting the points. And I didn't get any points for Batman.
No, you
and
got half a point.
I got half a point. I'm sorry. I got half a point for Batman. I got 2 points from Johnny Bravo.
So it went backwards than what you thought, but you
I
still
know.
got what you wanted.
I guess.
Essentially.
Yeah,
I mean,
still got
I think you
points.
prefer 4
yeah,
points.
true. if I was shooting
You
for
preferred,
2.5 points.
but you were ready for less points.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
No,
cool.
so I really liked this show growing up. It was one of my favorite shows.
Yeah.
This, Batman, and Dragon Ball Z were probably on the top. So,
Okay.
Really?
thank you guys for the point.
Sorry, I'll stop. I'm sorry.
I'm sure it'll come up next week.
What'd you say?
He says something about Dragon Ball Z.
Oh.
So, you want to watch season 2 then?
Season 2?
Yeah, I want to watch season 2.
do
You guys
it.
okay with season 2?
I'm fine with it. Yeah.
So
I don't know if I'll like it as much after season 2.
I'll tell you this right now. Season 1, according to a bunch of people's opinions, is the worst season.
Really?
Okay.
Season 1 did not get a lot of views when it came to Cartoon Network. A lot of people just didn't think it was because, or they thought because Cartoon Network wasn't really big.
Yeah.
But it almost got canceled because of the really low ratings. And like the directors and the writers like really pushed for it, and they brought it back. But the guy that actually created it, he got pushed out, and another director came in.
Really?
Yep.
Well, if I were you, John, I would do what Justin's going to do for Animaniacs and reviews of that. I would pick episodes to watch.
Okay.
Because I think I'm also on the brink that I might get tired of this if I have to watch another.
No,
just straight through.
I'm sorry.
What?
I said sorry.
It's not right now, but I'm on the brink like I was with Animaniacs.
All right.
Okay, cool.
All right. Sounds good.
Watching season 2.
All right.
Yeah, so when it comes to next week, we are going to be watching this amazing show.
Before we get into this, let me tell you a little story. So when we started this podcast a year ago, not a year ago, less than 9 months.
Almost a year now. It's almost a year
since we started talking about it. Yeah. So we all kind of started spitting out like different shows and movies we're gonna watch, and Justin said, "I want to watch Yu-Gi-Oh because it's terrible." So fast forward to season 1. We're like 4 or 5 episodes in, and Justin's like, "Hey, let's watch the first episode and see if we want to do this next week." And we watched it together, and we're like, "No, hell no, we're not watching this."
I said no. Now, can I finish this?
Yeah, you take it from there.
Now let's fast forward.
Okay.
The Dragon Ball Z saga.
Is that what brought this?
I did not think it would be so terrible.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I need revenge.
So you're going to put us up all through. It wasn't my show. Just
next week, we're probably going to watch what is more than likely, I don't think worse than Dragon Ball. I don't know. We'll see. I hope it is, because this is your punishment, John.
Okay,
we're going to watch season 1, parts of season 1 of Yu-Gi-Oh!
We're watching Space Buddies then, for throwing out shit.
Now, when we watched this originally, like Chris said, we were like, no, we can't do this. There's no way. I agreed with him. But then John pissed me off so much with Dragon Ball Z.
So
this is my revenge.
How did I piss you off so much?
Because it was so slow and terrible.
I didn't write the show.
You made us watch 2 seasons.
You know what the worst part was?
1 season is okay, because you liked it when you were little. 2 seasons was too much.
That wasn't even the worst part. Okay. You like it.
I do.
What is wrong with you as a person?
You like that shit.
A bunch of other people like it too.
And this will be the end of my bringing up Dragon Ball Z.
Again.
Because this will be my... This is my revenge. Okay. But in more seriousness, I did watch it when I was little. I did play the card game. And I am a little bit intrigued to see how the rest of it's going to go.
I remember being really confused about the card game.
Yes, and there's a lot to talk about there. John, if you wanted to find us on social media and to listen to our podcast, where would you go?
All right, so you can find us on the big social medias when it comes to Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Another Man's Pod. You can also listen to us where you're listening to us now. You can also, or if you want to tell someone about it, we are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Castbox, Stitcher. What am I forgetting?
SoundCloud.
We're not on SoundCloud. Our trailer's on SoundCloud. You need to add the rest of the episodes to SoundCloud.
You're right. YouTube also.
YouTube, yes, you can listen to us.
Oh yeah, let's talk about YouTube real quick. So
okay. Oh yeah, this is we got in trouble. we got in a little trouble.
Got a lovely email, 2 emails. I tried.
You got 2?
Yeah, I'll tell you about the second one in a second.
God.
So,
okay.
I tried to put up a Hey Arnold clips episode, and it really pisses me off. But they didn't. They took it. They wouldn't let me put it up because we showed scenes from the Jungle movie. Which, who the hell cares? It was the Jungle movie.
Don't get me started.
And it's not like I put up a clip of them, like the actual scene. It was just the video of it while we talk over about what's happening.
Yeah.
Which goes into the fair use clause, which is totally legal, but they said I couldn't. So, sorry about that. we might not be able to put them up anymore for a while until I figure out a loophole around it. Because then I got another email.
Probably just still pictures.
Well, see, then I was like...
You got another email what?
Well, so then I was like, okay, well, at least they'll warn me whenever they want me to put it up, right? Yeah. Then I got an email about our Dragon Ball Z one from like the second episode of the season, and said it's being taken down because it violates copyright. Again, we just talked over it. It's reviewing it. That's fair use. And it said that we get a strike against our account, and if we get 2 more than 3 months, they'll get rid of our account completely. So I'm pissed about it. So anyways,
I can tell.
So there might not be any YouTube clips for a while until I spend more time.
We had Bob Oblong.
Yeah. So you can still listen to our podcast on YouTube.
The episodes will be up there.
Yeah, the episode. We just won't put like the clips with the visuals.
But with that, if we talk about something that is visual, we'll probably try to put a still up of it on our social media or something, so that people know what we're talking about. If something funny, a funny picture happens or something, we can do that. So
okay, yeah, I put most of my the content. I'm in charge of the social media, so I put most of the content on Instagram. So if you want to go check us out, follow us there. You can follow us on any of the social medias when it comes to Facebook and Twitter. We would really appreciate it if you could rate us on Apple Podcasts. That would help too. Or just leave a comment. We are also, you can also email us at anothermanspod@gmail.com, and you can give, we've had a bunch of people give their opinions about the show, and so we really do appreciate people that email us and tell us like what we're either doing good or what we're doing bad. So thank you.
Kind of opinion, any kind of recommendation, either how to make the show better or what to watch, please email us and let us know.
Yeah, a lot of the shows that we've done, we have watched when we were like little, but they are like most of them are recommended.
Yeah, we've done a couple that none of us have watched, and we'll probably do more of that later on too. I think X-Men was one that none of us watched, but we did it because somebody recommended it.
Yeah.
All
right, so
okay.
This is, what episode is this season?
203.
This is episode 10.
Episode 10 of season 2. All right, we made it.
Next week when we finish the episode, we'll be halfway done, which will be crazy to think about.
That's crazy. So listen, tell
tell
someone about it.
Thank you guys for listening. I will see you next week with Yu-Gi-Oh.
Peace.